Hello and welcome to Hot Topic, covering the controversial in Northern Lincolnshire and East Yorkshire. I'm Hugh Riches. Our topic today is the future of the village of Laceby in North East Lincolnshire. I'm joined by Councillor Dave Marshall, Chairman of the Village Council there, but here as an individual citizen, and by Jenny Griffiths, Chair of the Residents Association for Aylesby, Laceby and Irby. Welcome to you both. Thank you very much for coming. Traffic is one of the major problems in Laceby and traffic flow. There are various causes and various potential solutions. Dave, will you just explain what the traffic problem is?
I think you'll find that Laceby, as it's grown, in the old days, not much traffic. Nowadays, new estates, more people, the infrastructure has remained the same. So obviously we are getting a problem with the flow of traffic. We've also got the bypass, which is now far safer than it ever was. Some of the traffic now comes through the village. I think we've also got the school. The school has grown. We've got 280 children at Laceby School at Cooper Lane, and for 15 minutes to 20 minutes every day, 8:45 to 4:15, 4:45 to 4:15, we have mothers, fathers taking the children to school in the cars. After that influx of traffic, I think Laceby basically can take that traffic. But the main problem is the roads have remained the same, cart track roads, and this is why we're getting this problem at different times of day.
But is it affected by the fact that the speed limit has gone down on the bypass, so people are using the village as a sort of rat run? Jenny, perhaps you know about this.
No, I don't think that's the case. I just think, like Dave, it's just the sheer volume that now, I mean, when North East Links changed the bypass at the entry and exit to the village, there doesn't seem to have been any real discussion about, if at all, it would affect the centre of the village. Now there are signage on the road that says to go up to the roundabout, yes, near the Oaklands, and to come round there from town and back in and round. And clearly some people do that. At one of our meetings that happens, but the majority of the traffic.
So why would it be better for the traffic to go up to the roundabout, turn around and come back?
Well, that was the solution of keeping it out of the centre of the village, I believe.
Well, that's going from A to B via C, isn't it?
Yeah, and the other thing is, of course, that on the same peak times as when people are travelling from Waltham to Immingham, Killingham and out that way, so there's pressure on that roundabout anyway. But, you know, generally, I guess if you're coming from Grimsby and there's a turn into Laceby, or you go another sort of half mile up and half mile back, you're going to come through the centre of the village. And that, a lot of the people that took part in a consultation we did that actually live on Grimsby Road there, yeah, are quite adamant that that is what's happening. And because they can, obviously, if you're living on the road, you don't need to do a survey to know how many cars are going past.
So would you agree, Dave? That's it's a mixture of a medieval street plan with the internal combustion engine and the fact that Laceby's on the way between two larger places.
No, what we had to do on the bypass was very dangerous. We had a lot of fatalities. We had a lot of accidents on there. We were in consultation with North East Lincolnshire Council for many years. We worked in consultation with them to make it a lot safer. People were getting killed. People were getting injured. After lots of discussion and working with North East Lincolnshire Council, we decided, after many different things, to lower the speed limit and to cut out this egress of the bypass, the turning to the right on the bypass. Some people do cut through the village, use it as a rat run. Basically, it's 28 seconds longer to go to the roundabout and come back into Laceby. So what is it, you know, what do we do? Do we have people killed? Or are people simply going to get fed up with a few vehicles coming through Laceby? I've been taking pictures in the last 3 or 4 weeks and at times there is no traffic. There is coming up Grimsby Road, which where the people seem to be complaining about.
So you have, so the 28 seconds seems like not very long to add to your journey, just to go round to the end and turn back up. So you're happy with the situation as it is? You're not, Jenny?
No, it's not the alterations to the bypass. I'm not an engineer, and I wasn't party to the discussions with the Parish Council. I guess my argument is that nobody actually looked at the centre of the village to see what impact that would have. And I do agree with Dave, it is not obviously at the quiet in the middle of the afternoon times. It is as people are going to and from school, to and from work, and so on and so forth. What we set out to do, and I appreciate that Dave takes pictures and he goes around, what we were saying was, but there's a whole village, and there may well be solutions that Dave doesn't see, that even I don't see, neither of us will see. What we will be doing, if we're looking at the whole village and asking the whole village, then people do have an input.
And you're taking the initiative in that consultation exercise. Just explain briefly what you're doing.
We used a scheme called Planning for Real, which is to do a holistic plan, really. It's a lot of villages and a lot of small areas have done it on all of the village. So they might look at shops, doctors, schools. We just did it on road safety.
Right.
And basically we did that in 2012. 2013 we collated all that information, and we had a really, really well attended workshop where people from all aspects and all areas of the village came together and discussed and debated which issues are the most important and which issues maybe we could do on our own by just simply changing our own behaviour.
This seems like a very sensible approach, Dave. Was it not something that the Parish Council should have been doing?
Well, over many years the Parish Council have worked for the safety of the people of Laceby. Anywhere where you see yellow lines, anywhere where you see a footpath has been widened, i.e. Tate's Corner, that's all been in consultation with the Parish Council. The lines, the centre line going to Greatcoats, the railings outside of the school, the barriers, the zigzag lines, the single line opposite the school to free off that area. That is the work of Laceby Parish Council. Anywhere where you see anything that's been done has already been done by Laceby Parish Council.
But has what has been done by the council in consultation with the people of Laceby?
Well, we're there. We're put there by the people of Laceby, and hopefully to work for the people of Laceby. So this is how a Parish Council works. We have to go there. We can't ask every little thing, but what we have to look at is what is going to be safe. And I believe that we have made Laceby a tremendous amount safer. But i.e. I mentioned Tate's Corner, where you had a piece of a corner there, 16 inches wide.
Yes.
It's now well over a metre where a double pram and whatever can get round there, can get through there.
But was there a need for a walkway round that corner there?
Oh, absolutely. That was the most dangerous corner in Laceby.
Right.
But without doubt, and yet so few accidents there.
Jenny, well, we'll come back to that. Forgive me, we must stop there for a moment. We'll further discuss these issues after a short break. Welcome back. I'm with Dave Marshall, Chairman of Laceby Parish Council, and Jenny Griffiths, Chair of the Residents Association. We've just been talking about traffic flow in Laceby and the role of the Parish Council. If we can turn to that political side of life in the village, the Parish Council can be fairly robust from time to time. Dave, I read in the papers late last year that people were calling you names. I think somebody suggested you were a moron.
Oh, they did, yeah, and that was during the meeting. They've got the right to their opinion, but obviously, when you sat there, it's not very nice to hear it. But if someone sits there and calls you a moron and a Luddite and whatever, that's totally up to them. We know we're not. They do get rather angry if they can't get their own way. Unfortunately, what they wanted, they weren't doing it right. Had they filled in the correct application forms and everything, it would have been looked at.
And what did they want?
What they wanted at that particular time was, what led to it was a football strip. And this was to a cost of £500.
A football strip as in clothes?
Yeah, and to qualify for that, you simply had to fill in a grant form. The grant form was incorrectly filled in. It actually wasn't finished. It was a bad attempt at it. We gave them it back and said, please fill it in correctly and then we can look at it. Unfortunately, they didn't. There was an underlying factor behind the reason that they actually came to cause a problem. And we would have listened to them. We've since learnt that there was an underlying problem. They were sent there basically to cause a problem. And
what was the problem? What was the underlying problem? What was the secret agenda?
Yeah, there was an agenda. They were told to get up to the meeting and cause a problem. And this rebounds again simply on the football field. You know, they were footballers, and what they basically wanted was to know that we were going to save at Butt Lane Park. And because we didn't give the correct answers at that particular time, it didn't suit. Unfortunately, there's a lot more to it. We're spending and responsible for other people's money. It's a parish rate, and we have it to spend, and we've got to spend it the best way we can. And until such times as prices were got for what was going to happen to Butt Lane, we had to have a price. We were asking for prices off North East Lincolnshire Council.
A price for
the maintenance of the area.
Yes, I
see.
see.
First of all,
and that's a responsibility that falls on the shoulders of the parish.
Well, it is if you're going to take it over.
Right. So who presently maintains Butts Lane?
North East Lincolnshire Council.
And why would anybody want the parish to make that payment and have that expenditure if the North East Lincolnshire Council is happy to continue to do it?
Well, they're not. They don't want to do it anymore after April. So obviously the Parish Council would then perhaps have to step in. But first of all, with the parish, we have to put out tenders for whatever we have done, but we have to have it costed.
Jenny, your consultation.
I'm confused.
Yeah, well, the Butts Lane Fields becomes the responsibility of the parish in April. North East Lincolnshire Council no longer willing to pay for it. The North East Lincolnshire Council having to make £8 million of cuts in the next few years or so. I hope the Parish Council doesn't have cuts of quite that extent. But well, you've done the consultations. You've spoken to the people in the village. What's the feeling in town about the fields? Right.
The consultation we did was about the roads, and I'd like to answer Mr. Marshall's question. Answer on the corner near the old Tate shop.
Very well.
I'm quite happy to do the other, but as long as I can go back to that.
Okay, forgive me. We did just before the break talk about that widening of the pavement. We will come back to the fields though, but go ahead, Jenny. What do you say about the pavement?
I appreciate what Dave says about that corner. It was and remains a dangerous corner. One of the things that came up in the consultation for people with mobility scooters and people with limited mobility is that remains a dangerous corner. And my argument with the bypasses is not that it's safer or not safer, because clearly anything that you stop traffic going over 2 lanes of traffic is safer. My argument is, what effect did that have in the village? And do the people of Laceby think it had an effect? And if so, what are their solutions for rectifying it? So it's a collective, which is the same as Laceby Square. You can't change a footpath
No.
and do the safety of the village. And as far as people going to the parish and the parish sorting things out and putting yellow lines here and yellow lines there, if you talk to the headmaster at the school, who's been very, very proactive, and his initiative is superb for me, which is exactly the sort of thing we were looking at, that is major change at no cost, but effective change.
That's that he's opened the school earlier. So
He's
that,
opened the school
that
earlier.
There's not such a pack in the delivery of children.
Parents now have an extra 10 minutes. Parents' feedback to him is excellent, and it is safer.
Good for him. May I just ask you if we can get back to the Butts Lane issue?
You certainly.
Thank you for making those points, but the
Yeah.
Butts Lane issue, you have your ear to the ground more than most as the chair of the Residents' Association.
Yeah.
What's your feeling about the Butts Lane issue?
Right. How the application to take it over came by it's the Laceby Sports Partnership now, the LSP, that are actually looking at taking it over. What happened when we did the road safety consultation, we started first off with the school council in the school with just the children there.
And must rush you a little
Yeah,
bit, Jenny,
that's all
sorry.
right. Well,
I know
they
the process of-
highlighted how dangerous their play was with all these roller skates and skateboards and things, and they wanted a skate park. So we looked at putting a skate park on. We then had the impact from North East Links that they were withdrawing, not from cutting the whole of Butt Lane site, but just the Bowls Club.
Right.
But it won't be so maintained as it was.
And what would you like to see happening? Well, it's a question to both of you. What would you like to see happening to the Butts
What
Lane
I
site?
would like to see happening is the Parish Council taking a lead on this instead of turning us down. Because I don't understand the meeting Mr. Marshall was talking about, because I thought that meeting was the people looking at the taking over Butt Lane Sports Field, went to the parish to find out whether it was a yes or a no, whether you were going to be part of it or not. I didn't think it was about the football pitches and the football strip. And they'd actually come for a yes or a no from you, so they knew where they stood. And I understand the answer was no. So that they weren't going to be part of.
Why was that answer? I mean, apart from the fact that what on earth is a parish doing spending £500 on football clothes, why was that? That answer was no. The parish doesn't want to take on responsibility for the site.
First of all, we set a precept, a parish rate, and we've got to be accountable for what we spend. As stated before, everything we spend, we've got to have a costing for it. We're responsible for it. And you know people, if they see you're wasting ratepayers' money. Now, we met with North East Lincolnshire Council regarding the bowling green.
I must hurry you, Dave.
Yeah.
Sorry. So the answer is, in brief, that the answer is no. The parish doesn't want to take on responsibility for the Butts Lane site.
The parish at this moment in time, and via a meeting when we had a show of hands, do not want full responsibility of the Butt Lane Park playing field without.
All the answer I can take, Dave.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. I'm sorry we must stop there. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join us again for the next hot topic. Goodbye.